Uh, so as folks probably know, Niagara region remains unchanged from the zone that we were in previously. We continue to be in the red control zone of the strengthened provincial framework. Probably the most significant number of questions we're getting right now is in relationship to the vaccine program. So the provincial COVID vaccine registration portal is now open. It opened today. And so individuals who are turning 80 or are older than 80 as of 2021, they can now book an appointment. So that's 1941 or earlier. And they can do so by going online to ontario.ca/book vaccine. Or there's also a phone number that can be called. And I'll say it now, but it's also on our website, Niagara Region's website. But they can phone into 1-888-999-6488. And so those folks that have difficulty using a computer, that's an alternative option for them. They can also have someone that they trust make the appointment on their behalf. So I will point out that what we're hearing so far is that there are very long wait times right now, both online and by phone. So if the phone is busy, people are asked to call back. But if they're on the call and it just seems like an excessively long time, there is a tremendous amount of people trying to book an appointment. So that's why. So they're encouraging those folks not to get off the phone, but just to wait until they have a representative reach them. So they'll need their OHIP card, and that's a green photo health card. The reason for that is both of the numbers are being used to book it. Expired cards are okay right now, but the red and white health card, that requires assistance. So in that case, they need to phone in and can't book online. The clinics in our various communities are rotating, and they're trying to establish a frequency that mirrors the amount of 80-year-old and older population in those communities. The clinics have been strategically booked so it doesn't take longer than 15 minutes to receive a vaccine. You can drive anywhere in that amount of time. And in addition to the clinics, this is a question we've been having a lot as well, is it just the clinics that are offering it? No is the answer to that question. The local pharmacies and family doctors who are able to get the vaccine supply when it's ready are also able to deliver that vaccine. So our location, just as a reminder, is the community center. And we're happy to announce that we now have our agreement from Niagara Region. So we're able to get moving on that. And our first 3 dates are March 31st, April 1st, and April the 9th. And the clinics will be run from 9:30 to 6 p.m. to start with at Niagara-on-the-Lake Community Center. We're also having quite a few people call the community center itself, thinking that they can book directly with the community center. That's not possible right now. You can only book through the provincial online portal and through that information line number that I provided earlier. So to help with that, we're also setting up a recorded message at the town that will help direct people where they need to go. And we've posted additional information onto our website. So right now we're in the phase 1 of it. And so that's adults over 80, Indigenous adults, homeless, and staff and essential caregivers of long-term care homes and high-risk retirement homes. Once that's done, they'll move to the phase 2 group, and that will be older adults. So then they'll start at the 79 and go by decreasing 5-year increments.
Yay.
So volunteering, there had been an overwhelming response to volunteering to help with the vaccination clinic. So that's great news. That closed on the 10th of March, so last Wednesday. So lots of help there. And as of Friday, over 37,000 doses of vaccine have been administered to residents throughout the region. So I don't know what the count is at now, but I imagine significantly higher by this point. And so on to an update about the community center. We had announced last week that we would be opening, and we have effectively done so, effective today. This also coincides with the return of the in-person services at the public library. So right now we're open for the track and fitness center, and per the regulation for red zone, we're only allowed 10 visitors at a time. So we're doing reservation bookings in 1 hour time slot. So the community center right now is open Monday to Friday, 7 till 9 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 9 till 5. So far, things are going really well. We have an FAQ posted online, and we have some new staff, contract staff, that have started to do screening and cleaning to make sure that things are safe. We also had an announcement today about on-demand transit. So I think this is really great news. The Niagara transit operators are going to be providing free transit fare to residents that are going to their vaccination appointments. And that's to help support health and safety of the community. So to receive that free fare, riders just have to show the driver vaccination appointment confirmation that they have, could be email or other format. And that just proves that that's what the purpose of the return trip is. They can go to any of the 11 vaccination sites. And once the vaccine's available, doctors and pharmacies are doing it. It's also free to go to those as well. So I think that's good news. We had chatted a little bit at our last council meeting, or committee of the whole meeting last week, about the ambassador program. So staff are looking at that now, at getting the Parks Ambassador program up and running for the spring. So just investigating that and getting it ready. The Lord Mayor also reached out to the Shaw Guild, who ran the Volunteer Ambassador program last year. So there's still a willingness and some logistics to be worked out. So they had done a lot in Old Town, and so that will be great if they can help out again this year. On to funding. So there had been some questions about the announcement that I made last week. So on March 4th, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing announced that they were going to give an additional $500 million to municipal governments to support pressures resulting from COVID. So Noddle will receive $427,000, and it will come in 2 installments, one before May 1st and one before November 1st. And the intent of that is to offset budgetary impacts and pressures from COVID-19. So it's very vague. It could be used for a lot of different things. We haven't detailed a full plan for that because it's early in the year, so it's still hard to anticipate exactly what's going to happen with COVID. So what I can tell you is what we spent it on last year. It went to offset pressures like additional staff that were required for screening and cleaning. So we may see that need again as we've got people in the community centers. It went to masks and cleaning supplies. It went to help support the ambassador program. So there's a whole host of things that it could be used for. So we'll see how it evolves, and we'll continue to track it in the same way that we did the funding we received last year. On the enforcement front, I'm happy because every week I announce the same thing, which is it has been fairly quiet on the enforcement front. That's good news because it means that people are remaining compliant and following the rules. The Heritage District was quite busy over the weekend. So was the Outlet Mall. But positive because the Outlet Mall was doing a really good job ensuring that people keep their physical distance, that they wear masks, that they queue properly in the lineups, and that they're following other public health guidance. Regional Bylaw helped out on Saturday, so they had some inspectors there, and then we had bylaw enforcement staff there on Sunday. Happy to also announce that the hiring is done for the seasonal bylaw enforcement. So those staff, one has started, the other seasonal bylaw staff are starting soon. So we'll have increased enforcement, and that's our standard seasonal recruitment piece. So I'll just remind everyone again that if there are any complaints, it's covidcomplaints@noddle.com, and bylaw will go out and investigate. So some of the news from a communications front is we have been doing a number of FAQs for various things, as you've probably noticed. We now have a new landing page with all of the frequently asked questions. So you can go straight there. If you Google Nodal FAQs, it'll take you there. And so you can click on a number of different things. If you're looking for info on the community center or on what it means to be in red control zone, you can just click on the appropriate one. It was the 1-year anniversary of COVID from March 12th to 14th. So while quite sad, the mayors got together and the various municipalities to acknowledge this, those who have lost their lives to COVID-19. So a letter went out and the flagpole, there was a spotlight shone on it. As you know, our flags have been at half-mast since the onset of the pandemic, dedicated to those who have lost their lives. I mentioned last week that we would have a customer service survey go out. That's ready to go and will be issued shortly. That's important, I think, right now in particular, because we want to be giving the very best service we can to our residents and businesses. And we've switched. So for a year, we've been working on delivering online with things closed. So we want to find out their feedback and see what we're doing well and where we can make improvements. So you'll see that go out this week. And I also mentioned that the postcard initiative would be ready this week, and it's ready to go. So residents have been invited to sign up to receive a prepaid postcard, and it has the local spring-themed photos that were submitted through last year's photo contest. So we're piggybacking off the great work that Canada Post has been doing, sending free postcards to households across the country.